In this video, I'll go through the real reason you're getting inconsistent views on YouTube. Most likely, it's not your thumbnails. Because if you have one video that did really well, and then the next few ones didn't do that well, most likely you have some understanding of thumbnails because this one here did well. So why did these here not do well? That's what we're going to go through in this video. This isn't a hyper-retention edited video or anything like that. We'll just go through my frameworks here in order to address this issue of inconsistent views. Strategies that we'll go through today, I talk about in my consulting calls, and this is pretty common with, well, it's very common with small channels, but honestly, it's very common as well with large creators. The packaging consulting calls that I do, the creator averages with, a few 100,000 subscribers, and even they are struggling with this. And it's really boring, strategic stuff. But this is the stuff that will have a big impact on your views. It's not saturation or contrast or, like be passionate and just stuff like that. That's not the thing that's holding you back from this consistency in views. These frameworks that we'll go through in this video, that will hopefully be the thing that unlocks that consistency in views for you. So let's go through it. So if you're getting inconsistent views and sometimes the video does really well and bad and then well and then well and then bad and bad, whatever it is, it's going up and down in views. The thing that's holding you back is probably not your thumbnails, because you probably have some understanding of thumbnails if, sometimes your videos do well. So why is this one doing well and then this one here is doing terribly and these are doing terribly? What is causing that fluctuation in views? That's what we'll go through in this video. So this here is my 7 P's of underperformance. And these 7 things here is how I would tackle if someone's not getting views or they're underperforming in views. So if you're getting a decent amount of views, then most likely this stuff here is pretty dialed in, And the way to know if this is dialed in is if you have a decent average view duration. If you've got a good average view duration, then most likely your pre-production is good, your post-production is good, and it's polished and professional and, high quality. So the thing you're struggling with is this bit here. People just aren't coming back, Sometimes they do and then sometimes they don't. So how are we going to fix that? Well, I'm just going to presume that you have a good personality. So, if you're talking in your videos like, so today we're going to talk about thumbnails and it's going to be good. And you're not looking at the camera and all of this stuff, that's a personality issue. I'm going to presume you have a decent personality. The thing then is the promise, your channel's promise. And we can fix this promise here, the channel's promise, with one simple question. If you have to describe your channel in one word, the topic, what is it? My channel is about, and you can do this experiment with large creators, every single one you can think of, you can probably answer what their channel is about in 1 or 2 words, and that is helping them to form a good channel promise. Now that's only one part of the promise, so that's what we'll go through now. That here is going to form your tattoo value statement. And if you can write a clear tattoo value statement, and then make sure that every single idea that you come up with matches this, you are going to get way more consistent views. So it's very simple to write. There's 4 ingredients. It doesn't take that long. And the consulting calls that I do with large creators, most of the time they haven't really thought this stuff out. And I just find that time and time again, they're like, oh yeah, I haven't really thought too much about my target audience. A lot of them have thought about their topic, but they haven't thought about these other elements. And surprisingly, they don't think about this element that much, which I'll go through. So the first thing is I help and then your target audience. So, for me, very obvious, my target audience is YouTubers. I help YouTubers. Whoever your target audience, you'll write that bit. The next thing here is the type. So what type of videos are you making? Are you making educational videos or entertainment videos? They're the only 2 types of videos. And educational videos are always how-to videos. Entertainment videos are basically the different movie genres. So comedy, drama, inspiration, romance, social experiment, etc. So they are the different entertainment types. If you're doing entertainment, you might kind of have a mixture of a few of them, but most of the time there's kind of like one clear, I make comedy videos, or I make adventure videos, or I make road trip videos, whatever that movie genre that you pick is. Educational, always how to. That's just what an educational video is. A lot of large creators that I talk to, they're like, oh, I make videos that they're kind of funny, but, I also teach them and stuff like this. They're very vague about it, and I understand it's not fun to box yourself in, but you have to think about it from a consumer's perspective. If you clicked onto my channel, for example, and I make educational videos, and then all of a sudden I'm posting sometimes comedy videos about YouTube, you're like, what? That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to learn. But even if I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to be funny and stuff in my videos, that's not why you're here. And obviously I could sprinkle in comedy if I wanted into educational videos, but you're not here because you're like, oh, this guy is going to make me laugh. You're here for the education. So just make sure you have a very clear type. I find this is very, very common in my consulting calls. So I help, so for me, YouTubers, with educational videos to, and now this is your topic. This is the one word test. How do you summarize it? So for me, it's YouTube packaging. I help YouTubers with educational videos to fix their packaging. And now this last question here is, are you going to help them get an outcome or to overcome something? So one is a gain motivation, you're getting something, and one here is a loss aversion. We don't want to lose something. So for my example, I help YouTubers with educational videos to fix their packaging to, and then for this one, get more views, or for this one, to stop losing so many views. So write this. It shouldn't take more than 30 seconds, especially if you know your channel well. It shouldn't take that long at all. By the way, if you're finding this useful, you can apply for my coaching calls below. Now that you've written your tattoo value statement, this here is going to help us with this bit here, the promise. People aren't coming back consistently. And that's because you don't have a clear promise for your channel. You don't have a clear thing that you're helping people out with. So now that you have this promise and it's really clear, how are we going to visualize that to people so they actually know, hey, this is my promise? Well, we are going to put this in a few different places. The first one here is the channel banner. You can do this very literally just by writing this sentence here. That's a very literal way to do it. You know, you don't have to include all of them. You don't have to include this bit, for example. That is kind of said through the videos. If they're all how-to videos, people understand it's educational. If the video is, I cooked every meal in the world, then people will understand it's an entertainment video. So the types of videos, this bit here is pretty clear. But maybe you want to visualize this stuff here, these three elements, in your banner. Then people know exactly what your channel is about. Then we have stuff like the channel name and the channel avatar. You might think these are really, small things, like who cares, but they do actually play into your packaging. So packaging, people say that it's just thumbnail and title, and they're like the main two things, but there's a bunch of other elements here as well that make up packaging. Timeline is a big one that people don't talk about, and channel avatar and channel name, these two here, they also make up your packaging. I could see the exact same thumbnail and title here by a different channel name or channel avatar, and that can impact if I'm going to click on the video or not. Let's take an educational video example, and let's say it's how to style your home. Let's just keep it as simple as that. If that's the title and you have a good thumbnail for it, but then we see the channel name here is, IKEA. This is a video by IKEA. They're probably going to just try and sell me their furniture. Or let's say it was how to get more leads overnight, for example. But then I see the channel name here is, some SaaS company about getting leads. Let's call it Leads SaaS, for example. I don't know if that's a real thing, but Leads SaaS. That title and thumbnail could be absolutely perfect, but the channel name here could impact if I click on it or not. And as you can see, there's a bunch of different elements here, but we'll talk about this here because that is part here of your promise. But let's say now you've got like a really clear promise. What are you now going to do in the future? Well, you're going to do this 4-step prep process. This is how I would recommend making your videos in the future. First, you're going to have your tattoo statement open. You're going to ensure that for this stuff here, the winning ideas, that it always matches this guy here, your target audience. Is your audience actually interested in this idea? And that comes from matching it with your tattoo statement. If the ideas you have don't resonate to your tattoo statement, if there's not a clear match, then it's probably not a very good title and thumbnail. So now that you have your clear audience and tattoo statement, you have that clear promise that you're delivering, you're going to come up with ideas and find your winning ideas here. If you want help with this, I have a plot title framework and a saw thumb framework. There are 4 elements that make an effective title and 4 elements that make an effective thumbnail. If you want help with that, I have a course linked in the description. You can also apply if you want one-on-one consulting. So now that you've come up with some good winning ideas, and they accurately match your tattoo statement, the promise of your channel, the next thing is to write a good hook for these ideas. After you've done that, then you can hit the record. But what most people do is the opposite. They go record, then they're like, oh, I need to make sure that I somehow chop all this together to form some kind of hook. And most of the time it doesn't work out very well. Then they're like, how do I piece this into a good title and thumbnail? And then most of the time, they never stop to ask this first question, which this whole video is about. Does my audience care about this? Does this actually match my channel's promise. So if you want one-on-one help with this stuff, then you can apply for a consultant call below. Or if you want to unlock my packaging playbook, which includes my title masterclass, my thumbnail masterclass, and my full thumbnail design process, then you can get that full bundle in the description.